Bill, you're amazing. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I've still got to get you my wife's email address. She's fuzzy on that part.
Yeah, we gotta turn her around on you for sure. Hi,
No,
everybody.
she's already turned on me. I don't need any help there. Doug, it's all yours.
Okay, I'm not even going to go there. But I do see Susanna, who I wasn't sure was going to be here. So you get to go first. Hi, everybody. This is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. And it's great to hear about Christina. The first grand boy or girl are you expecting?
Girl, it's a granddaughter.
Fantastic. Congratulations. And which day are you thinking? Is it going to be in the next
It's
week?
Christmas Day. The due date is Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. Amazing. So
That's
keep us
okay.
posted on that for sure. Our grandson is arrived in Lake Tahoe today, and he's going snowboarding at 2 years old. So I think some of you know him as the skateboarder on my Facebook page. This kid is amazing. He's shooting baskets. Like I didn't start shooting basketballs until maybe, 8 years old, something like this. This kid is as good as at 2 as I was at 8. He's amazing. So enjoy your journey. Certainly, hopefully it'll be a healthy birth and everybody is going to enjoy an extra special and blessed Christmas.
Doug, let the record show you talked about your basketball prowess and I said nothing.
Yeah, I didn't say I had prowess. All I said was he's as good as I was at 8 at 2 years old. So that doesn't say very much for me. I did later play a little bit of basketball. I'm anticipating he's going to be pretty amazing. We all are doing global business, and Christina, besides becoming a very soon a grandmother, which is hard to imagine, but it's true. She's also an amazing cross-cultural leader, and she's going to be speaking at our annual initial meeting that we have, although this year I guess we have a few other meetings coming on, but in the first week of the year, we're going to be talking about global mindset as we always do. And Christina, this will be her first contribution to that event. However, she's contributing on a regular basis, not just at Global Chamber, but around the world in her ability to understand cultures, working across cultures, and all the subtleties that are required there. When you see what happens cross-culturally, you recognize that it is kind of subtle a lot of times, right? But you got to know what you're doing, and she's got the skill to be able to help companies do that. I would like to speak first with Susanna Trecente because it's an honor to have her. She's been involved with Global Chamber probably from the beginning with a couple different organizations. Now the city of Peoria, Peoria you might think of is in Illinois. But the real amazing Peoria is in Arizona. It's one of the largest landmass cities or towns. Like you get to Peoria and you can like drive all day until you get to the edge of Peoria. It's amazing. It's a spring baseball city. It's now over the last 5 years in particular become quite an industrial hub. So Susanna, what opportunities will you be sharing with us today? We're looking forward to hearing more. You are amazing.
Right back at you, Doug. And you know what? I'm sorry I've been unavailable. We have been busy, and I'll show you guys why we've been busy, but we also been busy. I've been busy because we lost our economic development director. She went on to a different city, and then another person retired. So it's just in business attraction efforts, just me really leading the way. And which is great because it gives me different opportunities, but at the same time, awesome, great. I will win. I will definitely help you with that. And so I'm really focusing on every single industry right now. And as Doug mentioned, yeah, we are becoming a little bit more industrial, and it really has to do with the fact that we do have a lot of land. It used to be a lot of state land, and that meaning that in Arizona, the state really controls land if it's not annexed within a city. So right now we're working with the state to bring in additional land to Peoria because we were landlocked for a bit there. And so now we are unlocking additional land, and it's really all within that. The TSMC, the semiconductor industry, is right in the backyard of that. So it's really prime commercial land. And I'll show you guys in more detail. Let me just try to pull up my presentation here. Doug, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. I'm imagining that the city of Peoria is probably bigger than the state of Delaware. But I'm just guessing.
That's a good point. I've never looked into it.
It may not be, but it's probably close.
Yeah. Okay, so let me.
And there's a lot going on, and that's why we're here. This is the League of Opportunities, and so we're here. I mean, you're going to hear a little bit of pitching stuff that goes on, but mainly we're here as Globies to hear what's going on in the world. What are some of the opportunities either that you directly or someone you know can participate in, and then are there things that you can help with? And so we're here to be able to help Susanna and all the speakers today. I think we have about 7 presentations, so we've got a lot to cover. That looks like Peoria.
Yes, it's honestly I'll be speaking more about the northern portion of it, but it's just if you like desert, it's really beautiful desert mixed in with water. So at the north, if you can see my arrow up here, you have Lake Pleasant, which is the second largest lake in Arizona. I think it's 25,000 square feet. What is it? I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, but it's the second largest lake. You have everything. You have yachts in there. You have islands on it. And so it's a large area for anything. They recently, for tourism, they recently did these water cabins, and they built out about 10 of them. And some social media influencers went in there and they posted about these water cabins, and now they're fully booked like a year out. So it's an amazing space. One of my favorite places in Arizona. I'm not saying that because I work for Peoria, but it's just a really good meditation spot. But we are 191 acres. So we're a large area where we go into 2 different counties, Maricopa County and up north, Yavapai County. And then we're really known for our family. As someone just mentioned, housing, really have great amenities for residents. Spring training was also mentioned, cultural diversity. We have the big giant FDI project that came into the US actually that made a great impact, which is TSMC, the semiconductor manufacturing plant. And it brought a lot of great opportunities, and it's bringing in a lot more cultural awareness, and really we like to focus on family, activities that surround families, so quality of life, and then of course education. We really try to strive to have some of the best schools, and we do. We have BASIS ranked #1, and then also Peoria Traditional also ranked at the very top of the list in Arizona. We have, like I said, amenities, a lot to offer anyone. So if you're ever here in town visiting for spring training, let me know. Doug and I will host you at our spring training suite there. So we have the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres that come and practice there. In terms of, I'm not going to go over this entire slide with you because it's a lot of stuff, and I was trying to tweak it and I just didn't have time. But so we do have a lot of amenities in terms of our retail space. In terms of retail, we are one of the sales tax for retail is one of the lowest sales tax in Maricopa County. So we really, because of that, we really excel in revenue. So sales tax related to retail restaurant space, it's one of the highest grossing in the valley, or in Maricopa County, I should say. So we always have great shopping centers because of that, and retail opportunities. We have our trade area is about 2.3 million people within a 30-minute drive time. So you can really get to that downtown Phoenix, most of Phoenix, if you will, within 30 minutes. And that's also to the great infrastructure that we have in Maricopa County. I've done some infrastructure work in the past, and really that's how Doug and I met. So I always like to talk about infrastructure as a whole. So here's a little bit about our retail centers. One of the best retail centers hosts about 7.7 million visitors a year. We are high density within our retail areas. So now we're really converting parking lots into retail centers. So that's the picture that you see up top. There is the 3 retail restaurants. They are some top tier restaurants in the valley, and the very first top tier restaurants to be going into the west part of the Phoenix area. So that's Postino's, North Italia, and Blanco, Mexican cuisine. And so it's actually the owners of one of those restaurants said specifically they would never go into the west part of Phoenix. So we worked out a great deal with them, and they are now in the west part of Phoenix. So it's good to be able to do that. More retail use. Really, speaking of international, we're really excited about the Amcor project that's coming into Peoria, which is about 10 minutes away from TSMC. And so that's going to be about $2 billion of investment into Peoria. That project keeps growing and expanding. So initially we said it was going to be about 2,000 jobs. We're thinking about 3,000 jobs. And it's going to be the first packaging, semiconductor, so chip packaging plant in the United States since about a decade. So we haven't had any type of investment in chips that specifically package the chips in over a decade. So it's really exciting to see that our industrial is growing, and it's actually really growing in terms of our defense, in terms of aerospace, and making a big difference in the US. And so because of this, because you have TSMC over here and you have Amcor over here in this area that is called Vistancia, we have been working on that northern portion of Peoria. So you'll see that the population in that specific area is only projected to grow significantly over the next couple of years. And so because of that, we've been working on unlocking more land in that area. And so you see all of these numbers here. I know it's a weird map, but it has a lot going on. All of this in the purple you see, that is Phoenix. And so Phoenix is being very aggressive and working very hard at developing all of the land here. And so that's all because of the TSMC project that you have going on. You have another big player in that area called the Mac Group that's been working hard, buying land from state land and going to the city of Phoenix for the whole planning, the zoning, and they have marketed that they're going to build a city within a city. So they are being very aggressive, spent a lot of time and money and efforts on this specific land, but because of that, they're bringing more people, more residential to that area. And so over here to our area, in the brownish, we're also becoming more aggressive and working hard at bringing additional land that is of commercial use. So you have about 30,000 new homes that are either already under construction or have permits to be built out. So it's already happening. Additionally, we already have more people going through the permitting process to get additional housing in that area, but that's alone what we're seeing right now. A lot of these homes are like $1 million homes, very beautiful, picturesque landscape with the desert in the back. So because of that, we are working out a deal here, the North Peoria Gateway over here off the 303, where it's about 1,600 acres of mixed use land that we've already done the planning. We've already done in the zoning. We're working on entitlements. That way, when users go in and work with the state land department to get land in this area, it's already planned out. The infrastructure we're working on versus the Biscuit Flats area over here, they're going to be doing that. The developers are going to be doing that on their own. We are being aggressive by already having that in place and having that available for development to come in and just build. So it's going to be basically shovel ready.
Amazing.
Yeah. And
do we have time to have a question or two? Are you okay with that, or is there anything?
Oh yeah, please. And I can't see if anybody has asked questions, so I'm sorry about that.
Well, does anybody have any questions or comments on Susanna? It sounds like I've seen some chat about people that know Peoria. That's good. And I don't know how many of you know about this global influx, especially due to TSMC, really was the first domino to start now Amcor selecting Peoria as the city where they're putting this packaging plant. It's just an amazing set of circumstances. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
If
I raised my hands.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wayne.
Oh, Bill, go ahead. You go first.
Okay, Susanna, I'm curious, are there any particular industries that you're focused on in terms of bringing into the area?
Yeah, really focused. You know, we at the city, and I'm really thankful that we think that a diverse ecosystem is a healthy ecosystem. So we, we like to think that semiconductor is great because it's within that supply chain already on the 303. So that's great. Some planning is already specific to the retail part of it. So we'll have major retail players on there. Someone was thinking technology, smart technology to be part of this as well. So we're really labeling it or we're planning on the zoning to be a commercial use.
Great, not tonight, but there's some very specific things that I'd like to follow up with you on.
Perfect, yeah.
Great questions, Bill. It's an interesting dichotomy from what Christina and I are used to in the Salt Lake Valley, where it's bounded by the Wasatch Range on the one side and the Oakers on the other, and then really kind of point of the mountain, and there's really nothing, you can't do anything up by the Salt Lake. This is just like, oh my God, it's like all this land. They just keep building out. It's such just an amazing, development opportunity, presuming there's water. And I guess that would be a question. But Wayne, you have a question.
Well, to be fair, it's a bit of trivia or trivial, depending on your perspective. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. I have clients in the Phoenix Scottsdale area, and one of the things I found out is that the best pizza in the entire country is located in Phoenix.
Pizzeria Bianco, Chris Bianco. It's now in Los Angeles as well.
I just put the link in the chat, And my wife and I actually went, got in line for a half an hour to get a seating 4 hours later. It's a famous restaurant. So yes, Doug, you're right. So I wanted to put that in there just as a tip of the hat to the greater Phoenix area. And yes, I did help a client who buy a home in Peoria. There, it was actually a family. It was their parents' home. Their parents had to move back to Canada, and it was a family destination for them for years.
Oh,
And we were able to, using the cash they had with us and also collaborating with a nationwide mortgage broker to get them the financing that they needed to be able to keep the family home and the family name, and still to this day. So anyway, yeah. So when you mentioned Peoria, Illinois, I knew exactly what you guys were talking about. More than a little bit familiar with that part of the world.
Very
that
good.
is great, Wayne. That is a great story. I'm all about family.
And as a New Yorker, I will say that Chris Bianco is actually from New York. And a lot of the success of why the pizza is so good is that he was initially importing water from New York. And he brought basically the technology to be, a great pizza in Phoenix. And it turned out he was rated #1. And Wayne, just again, so he's in LA. So you can go to Pizzeria Bianco now in Los Angeles. There's a longer line there.
It can't be as great. To me, it's the original place has got to be the place to go, though. Even though it's
But
Yeah.
I've tried it. It's feels as good. There's the Wise Guy Pizza. Definitely check that out if you like
what part of
sauce.
LA is it in, Doug? Real quick.
I'll send you the information for sure. There's actually 2 locations, so we'll get you all set up.
Doug, you just know it all.
I'm a foodie. I can't help it. So thank you for sharing all of that. That's amazing information. Is there anything in conclusion, Susanna, that we should know?
No, this is just a great opportunity. All in all, it's a little bit over 8,000 acres of what we're working on. So really a great, we're calling it the land of opportunity because we are working with everyone that is interested in making a deal to make a deal. So we're working with state land to bring the planning and zoning, and then we will also be purchasing land to make even better deals with people that are interested. So Doug, that is in my very short summary as to why I've been so busy these past couple of months, and my apologies.
No apology necessary. So Suzanne is also on the Global Chamber Phoenix Advisory Board, and so that's why I think she's trying to apologize, which I reject your apology. You are amazing, and you're doing some great work, and just keep up the good work. But we do need to keep moving. So definitely get a hold of Susanna. Susanna is somebody to know because of her background and because of all this great work she's doing now. I see. JB Deal is in the call, and it's late in Hong Kong. I'm presuming you might be there, or maybe you went back to France. I don't know. JB, what's going on in your world? Is there anything that you'd like to share opportunity wise?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for this. And hello, everyone. Actually, it's the morning here in Hong Kong, so it's 8:30 a.m.
It sure is.
Yes, yeah. So you can see the light on my face. But anyway, yeah. So it's great to see you. Thanks, Doug, and great to see you, everyone. So my name is Jean-Baptiste, but you can call me JB. It's much easier. I'm a business accelerator. So what I do is I connect projects with money, clients, and partners out of Asia. So there's still a very big hype at the moment in Southeast Asia. Everyone, with what we see in the world happening today, people are a bit self-centered in Europe. Also, I believe in the US, compared with, what we saw 5, 10, 20 years ago with globalization. But there's still a very strong interest for companies, to go into Southeast Asia. I think this is what we can see. Another area is innovation, and there are a lot of different projects. We mentioned about packaging just now. There's some projects related to sustainable packaging based on seaweed, based on other types of renewable materials. So this is something that we see. I also look at energy projects, education projects. Yeah, like one energy project is actually a thermal electricity project. It's called thermal electricity generation, TEG. It's from Europe, and I'm looking for partners to expand with production, distribution. It's quite amazing actually, because NASA was using this technology to power a space probe, and it has been underutilized. But heat is a huge source of renewable energy, and it is underutilized. So I'm working on a lot of different projects, and I'm a business accelerator. So I talk to founders, CEOs, C-level people, and I'm actually here to, connect the dots. And I work on strategy for financing. I work with some of the world most well-known people, former CEO of Rothschild in Asia for financing projects. In terms of go-to-market, I work on, strategy. This is always the base, and then execution. So finding a
Amazing.
Yes, I do so many things, but it's great. Yes.
One person, if you haven't met, is Vinayak Gupta because of his energy expertise. I don't know whether you guys have connected yet. Does that name ring a bell?
No.
Okay. He's our Global Chamber San Francisco board chair, and he's an energy expert, amazing guy. He's going to be very interested on the project that you're working on. So we are doing an energy event. We came up with that at the Global Chamber San Francisco event the other day. The meeting ran long and the energy conversation got flipped over. So we're moving it into January. And so maybe we can include you in on that. It was mainly around hydrogen, but would love to hear more about what you're talking about. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. With pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, JB, this is Pankaj. Sorry, Doug, I joined late. And we are
We were
communicating.
waiting for you. We just waited and waited, and
No,
then
no,
finally,
no.
my goodness.
I have one wife and 2 kids. My life is hell. I don't know how people are managing 4 wives, 16 kids. So I have to, I don't want to mention. Anyway, don't worry. I don't. JB, we are connected each other for last year for Hong Kong trip. Remember on June, but we are not able to meet. So we will connect with you again. So we will offline talk. Okay.
Okay,
So
with pleasure.
I think we have your email ID. Remember when we went to Hong Kong, we communicated, but it was my horrible trip. So 5.5 days, only one jeans. One time I just take a shower. Hong Kong is like it's an amazing country, but it's anyway. So go ahead, and by the way, I am taking the opportunity, Doug, a little bit of time. Just finish it when I am talking. So we added one more services like risk and feasibilities. I put it on the chat box. Anyone is looking for risk in feasibilities, we can do, and the very cheaper price. Funding is also main part, but the risk and feasibilities is mandatory required for funding, or anybody, any industry. You need a risk and feasibilities. Thank you so much. My details is there. So
Thank you for sharing. I was trying to get to Tommy Armas, but I think he just left. So sorry about that. And so Cesar, I know you work with Tommy quite a bit. Do you have like 30 seconds? You can explain a little bit about what he's doing. Oh, Cesar, are you there?
I'm here. Sorry, I was typing an email.
Oh, no worries. Sorry to hit you by surprise.
Tommy, Tommy, I'm gonna put Tom. I don't know if he added it here in the chat, but I'm gonna put his contact info on his website. So Tommy is the owner and the main designer of a beach wear, like swimsuits, towels, and things like that, and it's called Fishy. So it has a small fish as a main character, and he's looking to expand. He's in Puerto Rico, like I mentioned. He's selling in Puerto Rico, on the Virgin Islands. He's selling in Florida, and he has this product where he can customize it to any destinations. So he can sell he can customize it for Mexico, for whatever, other Spain or other countries. I'm gonna put the link here in the chat just in case you want to buy something different for Christmas.
It's Fishi. It's got a great brand, and the fact that he tailors it, it's pretty cool. I also want to go back to what to Pankaj, the aspect of I'm going to actually, I guess, meet Pankaj for the first time at the Consumer Electronics Show, and I wanted to make sure because we did have a speaker. Jung Moon of Dream Kim, who used to run the Korea Innovation Center, and now he's helping companies mainly be successful in the United States. And so this would be of interest to Susanna because there are 41 Korean companies coming in through the Incheon, city of Incheon, and Global Chambers helping them set up a couple big meetings in Las Vegas. Erica Herval of Global Chamber Las Vegas is right in the middle of all that. So on Tuesday, January 7th, if you are going to be at CES or you know someone who will be, join us at City of Incheon. Mayor Gallego of City of Phoenix is coming, and I thought she was coming, but I actually got reconfirmed about an hour ago. I got a call from her office saying we will be there, and Mayor Gallego will be there with the mayor of Incheon with these 41 companies. So that's going to be a fun part of CES.
That's really good, Doug, because I know she's very hard to get a hold of.
She is an amazing leader. And I would say she's also the most responsible person for bringing TSMC to Phoenix. She visited Taiwan twice. She's a brilliant just person. And just really, I can't say enough positive about her. I'm not eloquent enough to really fully articulate how really good she is. She's amazing. And so if you are going to be at CES, get to meet Mayor Gallego visiting with the Korea delegation. It's going to be pretty fantastic. We're also, just one more thing, Pankaj, we also have a new sponsor of Global Chamber. It's a small little company called Kubota in Japan. So they make tractors. They're huge, right? And so they are sponsoring an event, our International State of the Metro for City of Phoenix on January 16th. So the middle of January. And before that, at CES, Kubota has a whole ecosystem of technology companies that are going to be there at CES. They themselves have won a technology award, and they're going to be featuring that at CES as well. And I believe Brett McMichael will be there. He's on our advisory board for the Phoenix chapter. He will be at that Tuesday event, January 7th, representing Kubota. And then Kubota has a huge event on the 8th, the next day. So wanted to make sure everybody knew about one of the many things at CES. It's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to visiting there. Pankaj, did you have something else you wanted to share?
Yes, I'm joining CAS for 7, 8, 9. Everything is perfect. So
Okay.
we will see you on 7th morning, and please include all the meeting invitations. So 4,000 companies is joining, but I am alone. But I have Global Chamber, Doug and Cesar. So that is my biggest power. So I wanted to join all these Global Chamber meeting in CES. I don't want to meeting in Chansan Huang. That is my next target. But don't worry. So please include all the meetings on 7th and 8th. I will definitely join where Doug and Cesar is there. Okay. Thank you.
All 4 events went up on the page today. It's
Okay.
actually the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. And I believe we're also supporting an event on the 10th. I don't think that's up there yet, but
Yeah.
4 of the 5 events are up.
So yes, so I will join all
Very good.
7, 8, 9. 3 days I'll be there.
Bring cash. Bring lots of cash.
Okay, I have that. Don't worry.
We're going to do some gambling.
Okay.
Okay, very good. So Wayne Baxter, we were earlier talking about Los Angeles because Wayne is in Southern California and he works with a lot of Canadians. And, it actually ties back to Peoria because Susanna knows that there's a lot of Canadians in Arizona as well because they're not dumb. they know that in the winter in the winter time, go to a nice place. And Southern California is a nice place. And Arizona is a nice place. And in particular, Peoria, by the way. So Wayne, I don't know whether you know Susanna but
We just met.
you now know her. I think you have an opportunity you're going to share today.
Well, I wanted to actually, Caesar got a hold of me, and I thought to myself, the guy must be like Karnak the Magnificent, from the Johnny Carson show here, because his timing couldn't have been better for reaching out to me. He's I'd like you to come and speak tomorrow, and given what's going on in the world right now, I again related to Canada, his timing couldn't be better. So he told me I had about 7 minutes, so I've timed out about 7 minutes worth of commentary here, and if I inadvertently go over by a minute, please accept my apologies, but I'll try my best to get through
Yeah, you're down to 6.5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Well, let me get through to the point where I mention my podcast, please. So anyway,
we'll give you the full 7.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Anyway, so it's great to be here. Great to see everybody. Suzanne, nice meeting you. We'll have to connect offline. So just real quick, I'm with a firm called One Capital Management. We're a global asset allocation portfolio manager, and we provide investment wealth management services. Now, what I do is I help my clients grow, protect, and ultimately distribute their wealth. And we do that by, providing them with investment wealth management services. We build customized, globally diversified portfolios. And I say so at the level of asset class, geography, style, valuations. And we do it on a fee-only fiduciary basis. So no commissions, it's all on a fiduciary basis. And what really makes us unique and why I was very interested in becoming a member of Global Chamber is that we can advise clients in both the United States and Canada, and in either currency in either country, US dollars or Canadian dollars in either country. We also can work with international clients who want to get access to the US capital markets while not living in the US. So all of those reasons make sense for me to be a member of this organization. Think about this for a second. There are about 1.1 million US citizens living in Canada right now, and there's just under 1 million Canadians living in the US. So there's definitely a niche for the service that we provide. One area that we really need to think about as investors right now is something called alternative investments. And the reason for this is that we're seeing the capital markets now heavily elevated. We have fewer public companies that are being out there. The time horizon for companies going public is taking a lot longer. And so what alternative investments can do is offer a low correlation to those public markets. You can diversify your income and you can enhance long-term returns. Now, research shows that adding alternative investments to a classic stock and bond portfolio can enhance risk-adjusted returns. But the thing of it is, what we're dealing with is that the capital markets, believe it or not, are shrinking. Where before there were 8,000 publicly traded companies, now there's under 6,000. Companies are taking longer to go public, from less than 8 years to now over 11 years. And so what we're doing is we're missing out on that enterprise value. Companies are about $200 million greater in value before they go public. So we're not getting access to that. You're only dealing with publicly traded securities, right? So again, the key to this really is you have to. This is a tricky market. It's much more complex than investing in just regular, S&P 500 index funds. The variance of returns in alternatives can be very broad. So as a firm, what we realized was the key to success was hiring a firm that actually have expertise in this area. So we hired a firm out of Santa Monica called Wilshire Investments. They manage over $1 trillion in alternative investments, and they're managing an alternative investment fund for our clients. So a little bit on alternative investments. And again, the big story this week, if you follow the news, is what's going on in Canada. The Canadian dollar, I don't know if you've been following this very much, but is now trading below 70 cents US. Last I checked about an hour ago was at 69.4 cents US. It's dropped from 74 cents over the last 3 months. Now, again, a lot of this recent downturn seems to be interconnected with the fact that the finance minister of Canada resigned just before she was supposed to stand in front of the House of Commons with an update on the budget deficit for Canada. And again, overall combination of this political upheaval and a high deficit, and also with the issue that the President Trump has been our incoming President Trump has been making a lot of noise about putting a 25% tariff on all of Canadian goods so they don't appease some of his demands. A lot of this has created, political uncertainty, right? And again, you see a key figure like a finance minister resigning, and then it turns out that this deficit that she said would be no more than 40 billion is now 61.9 billion. You got a lot of uncertainty. You got interest rate concerns. You could see the Bank of Canada having to lower rates. That could also make the currency less attractive. Again, there's a lot of dispute between her and the Prime Minister Trudeau on how to deal with President Trump's demands. All of this, market sentiment is putting downward pressure on the Canadian dollar, and it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you could see the Canadian dollar depreciating even more as investors sell off the Canadian dollar in anticipation of this continued weakness. So that goes to the next question. Always says, well, what's One Capital Management doing this with their clients' portfolios? And really, what we're doing is we're reducing our Canadian equity exposure of our Canadian equity model from 35% overall down to 20%. And on top of that, we're putting what's called a currency hedge on our non-Canadian dollar denominated securities. So that's the US positions, international positions. And essentially what that does is it locks in the currency exchange rate at the time when the hedge is done. And what that does is ensures that any gains that these US or international investments have are not eroded when the Canadian dollar eventually starts to go in the other direction, God willing. Now, if you're interested in learning more about US-Canada cross-border investing, I would invite you to check out my 3 Questions podcast. It's called 3 Questions with Wayne Baxter, where we dive deep into the world of wealth management and we connect you with industry experts. And I'm going to put a couple links in the chat, one for the podcast in general and another one that focuses specifically on adding alternative investments to your portfolio. You can also follow 3 Questions on either Apple or Spotify. There are 82 episodes there, and I encourage you to check them out. Doug, thank you very much for allowing me to participate.
Thank you. Any questions? We have time for one quick question.
Yeah, Wayne, the question I
Yes.
would have, it's probably best offline, but some of the things that we're doing in more recently on what we're calling rewarding roll-ups.
What? Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, it's probably easier
I'm gonna
to send information.
I'm going to call timeout. You guys get a room.
Good idea. Good idea.
So let's keep moving because we only have.
I can connect.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate the time.
But I think Wayne, you and you two getting together makes a lot of sense. Bill's got will have some ideas for you that I think you'll be able to help. But it's a little bit esoteric for the bigger group. But he's brilliant. So enjoy that conversation. I do want to keep moving, and I first want to note that Eduardo Gonzalez, that is not you. You have some sort of an AI generated, or like you're a teenager. That's an amazing picture there. I guess that's AI, right? I guess I'm not. It is AI. Okay, very cool. You're amazing. And so bring back sea urchin from Mexico when you come back. I don't know if Sayali is available to speak, but Sayali, could you just give a quick update on opportunities that you're offering? Do you have a minute to say hi? Oh, are you, I think you're muted. Are you muted or just not hearing you? Uh-oh.
Probably it's my AirPod. So
That's
it's the end of day, so probably it's running out of charge. So probably that could be the reason. So hello everyone, this is evening. So good evening to all those who are in US continent. We are a software services provider company. And Doug, please remind me what would you like me to talk about?
Oh, just are there any opportunities that we should be thinking about that you're offering?
Okay, sure. So we have different software solutions for different industries. So in terms of I am actually going to go through the recording of this meeting to know what all different discussions happened. But in terms of opportunities, what I'm seeing is we would like to have a partnership with businesses who would like to have some innovative solutions. So whether it's urban agriculture waste management, whether it's insurance investments, we can help. So that's all I would say right now. I'm just getting into meeting that. So
Well, I think at least what I was thinking that everybody should know is one of the things that you do is integrate technology into businesses. And one of the ways you do it with anybody that's using Monday.com, you've been able to help and support that technology and the ability to use that tool in a much more effective and very focused and tailored way for companies. And so what I think of when I think of what AppRely is able to do is take things like Monday.com and make them more valuable, make them more precious. And so all of you know companies that use those kinds of tools. Sayali is a great resource to reach out to be able to help them or you get to the next level. And I could be wrong, but that's what I was thinking.
no, that is correct, Doug. So we do have many projects which we build on top of Monday.com. We do have a connector app which is called as Time Relay. It is just available with us as a Monday.com Gold partner. And it has been used at many big companies, and it has been appreciated as well. So we do a lot of project management, sales and marketing pipeline automations on top of Monday.
Sounds great. Christina, we were talking to you earlier. Is there anything that's going on that we should know about, or is there any help that you need, or anybody that you know needs help?
Well,
Other than
my daughter.
The granddaughter of yours that's going to come out on Christmas Day, perhaps, what's the relationship of the mother to you?
My daughter.
Your daughter? Oh
my oldest daughter, yes.
Wow. Fantastic. So she needs help, but she's getting it probably is it from the University of Utah by any chance?
Yeah.
Yay.
She'll be giving birth at the U hospital. So.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Is there anything else besides that either you can help with or that you need help with?
Oh my gosh, I've been listening to so many of you, and I have so many questions, so I'm going to get with you offline. But I've also one area of expansion that I'm going into, Doug, is I want to look at interns. So if you have interns that are coming to your organizations from other countries, I'm developing a separate student or younger focus cultural immersion strategy that goes on my cultural Venn diagram and the spin method. So I'm having I'm expanding this, and I'm also doing some cross-culture domestic work from state to state. So
wow,
bring it on.
Have we already connected you to Cultural Vistas?
Let's make sure we do. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, that'll be amazing. Actually, we had an intern start yesterday, Eugene Son, and I guess I forgot to ask her to maybe attend today so she could start to understand more about kind of who our members are and things like that. But it's early, and so you'll be able to meet her. She's almost a full-time intern through August. So she's a long-term Korea West intern. She has a degree in trade and English. And I got to meet her yesterday in Phoenix, and she's extraordinary. And she is going to be leading a couple things, but one of them is something called Export League, which the first one is going to start in Phoenix on January 16th. And then every month we're going to do another export league around the world. India is February kickoff, and then we're just going to go, and that's one of her things because she's such an export focused graduate, and now she wants to expand that knowledge. So Susanna knows a little bit about that. I think you may have been part of the first export league that we did for City of Phoenix, and now the City of Phoenix has sponsored the next one, and that's going to kick off in a few weeks. So thank you, Christina. We'll get you connected for sure. That's something we can help you with.
Great, thank you.
Does anybody else, before we end, who else hasn't spoken? I think, Jim, you talked earlier, but if there's anything that we can do to help, and Rutherford is on the call, and so is Mark Cohen. Mark Cohen is always creating trouble and good things, both. So if you have anything that you either need help with, or you have some ideas for, let us know. And Eduardo, that AI picture is probably going to give me nightmares tonight. So I'm definitely going to try to convince you to get rid of that thing or whatever that is, because your real face looks a lot better than that. So
I just want to say that my avatar is real accurate with my age.
You can imagine what we're going to look like. That's awesome.
We should all have one like that.
Yeah.
Mark, you used to look like that.
I did it one time, maybe when I was 6, maybe. Thank you all. Thanks, Doug. I'm sorry I missed you yesterday, Doug. You know, the diversion of the world today is amazing. That's all I can say to you. You know, we're dealing with, you know, as I said, I had this call, and we are getting into trouble, like you said, with Abu Dhabi, with the main guy over there, and he's very interested in learning more about what we're doing with, you know, saying Dr. Sanjeev Kraman. And so we're really, really interested in moving forward with that. The dynamics of California on that call the other day was so amazing of what to do with technology and where we're going today. Susan, we got to bring them all here to Peoria, though, because we're in North Phoenix and we got to keep it in our state here. But I will tell you, it's really been a dynamic situation of what's happening in the world. And we're seeing it live with everything. And we're just trying to get how we can all cooperate and how we could all blend together. Eduardo and I are having so much fun just to get to know each other, but how the dynamics, and we see the culture differences all over the world and how we can engage with that. And I think it's really great right now, the time. CES is really going to be amazing this year. And I think that it's going to really change a lot for everybody. So thanks, Doug. Yeah.
Everybody come to CES if you can. Rutherford, anything we can do to help you?
Not in the 3 minutes that I have. So listen, I'll pass it off to Jim.
Let's see, who is Jim?
Cook.
Oh, Jim. Oh, there he is. Right up on the top. There you are. Anything we can do to help you, Jim?
Yeah, today was really a day. You know, you got good days, you got bad days. Today was a very, very hectic good day. Go back to Susanna. One of the things we worked on another global was putting FDI together between Brazil and Maryland.
Wow.
And you do a lot of work with Korea, so there's going to be a lot going on with us in Korea. So hopefully we can weave you in there. Thank you for your leadership there.
Anyway, but just to the Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas to the entire panel.
I'd like to turn it over to Cesar for the last word. There was one more thing that I wanted to share, and it escaped my mind. Let me see if I can look through everybody here. Maybe it'll get me recentered. Oh, I know what it was. So it was because what Mark mentioned about semiconductor.
Yeah.
It is amazing. And what Barry Broom of the Greater Sacramento Economic Council spoke about, and Susanna knows Barry, what he talked about in terms of the semiconductor industry kind of blew my mind, you know, in terms of the opportunity there. And so he will be hopefully speaking. After that meeting, I asked him to speak at the Semiconductor Summit. So hopefully he'll be in person in Phoenix and get reintroduced to the Phoenix crowd. Because I mean, really the opportunity is amazing. And so what I wanted to mention was 2 books, and I've already mentioned to some of you about Chip Wars. If you haven't read Chip Wars, you need to read it. It's so good about an industry and the interconnecting of the world and the ups and downs of technology and companies coming and going, including maybe Intel. A lot of the book was written years ago talking about the demise of Intel. And so here we're kind of living, and Intel's kind of come and gone over the last 30 years. And so, and it's had its ups and downs. So read that book. And the other book that I'm reading right now that I highly recommend, I just got off the phone with the Mayo Clinic, and I think they're going to talk about AI at the January 16th event. More about that later, but The Rise and Fall of Nations. So this is a book that I just discovered. I think it's about 10 years old, and oh my God, it's so pertinent to the world. Again, talking about, do immigrants help? Yes, the answer is yes. And does an increase of population, including from immigrants, help? The answer is yes. It's so overwhelmingly, proven over the years for hundreds of years. And so definitely read Rise and Fall of Nations at some point in your book reading. Cesar, you were called something earlier. You were called something great, and you are great. Is there anything else that we forgot? Any mistakes that I've made that you need to correct, or anything else that you would like to share?
Not really, Doug. I think it's everything went fine in the call. I just want to add two things. One is Sebastian Tego, our member in Mexico, who was supposed to speak. He apologized because he's feeling sick, lack of energy. But I thought, maybe mentioning he's into Mexican industrial real estate. So for anyone looking to buy or rent commercial space in Mexico, well, we got Sebastian there. So happy to help, and I will try to have him in the call in January. And the other thing is that one of the first event of 2025, if not the first, is gonna be a Caribbean call that I'm planning with our executive director, Nicole, also up there. And I know Trinidad and Tobago is still a small country, but it kind of offers a lot of opportunities. And she was here. I don't know if she left. She probably left. But I just wanted to mention that the couple of industries that she shared with me, like green construction, prefabricated construction, manufacturing, tourism, hospitality, renewable energy, sustainable agriculture and fishing, nearshoring. So anyone related to these industries and interested in learning more about opportunities in Trinidad and the Caribbean, feel free to join us on the 3rd of January. The event is already up in the calendar. So that's it.
One introduction then, maybe Dave Binsfeld with Nicole. Yesterday I was with Dave at our headquarters in Phoenix, and he was showing me a picture of Peter Grabeck, who was meeting someone we had introduced him to in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, around construction of homes and unique construction. And so it's a success story about to be announced, but it was like, wow, that's awesome. So you never know where these inspirations come. That's why we do these meetings. Hopefully they're not a waste of time for you. In fact, quite the opposite. Hopefully you got something out of this. And then if there's someone you can help, great. If there's someone you can help and it's you, great. If you need help, just reach out, because we're here. We just want to be able to help. We're not as good as we want to be in terms of helping, but there are some things in place and that are going to be in place for next year, thanks to Dr. Sanjeev Kagram, including some other things that we're doing to inspire us and to help us be better for members as we grow, and hopefully a lot of growth next year. That's what Dr. Kagram is asking and I think expecting for us next year. Thanks, everybody. Reach out anytime. Have a great rest of your day. And if we don't talk to you, have a great holiday as well. Merry Christmas. And a great birth, Christina.
Happy holidays, everyone. Thank
Happy
you, Doug.
holidays, everyone.
Bye.
And see you tomorrow in 15 hours for the next part.
Oh, part 2. That's right. 15 hours.
Hey, Doug, send me a picture and I'll make you an avatar like mine.
You mean my hair won't be white? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.